Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. How was your weekend? Was it good?
It was fun. I mean, I in the pre-show I mentioned I was kind of stuck in the parking lot for a couple hours because my battery died, but it's resolved. Everything's fine. Can't really complain. It was hot, but, no huge deal.
That's pretty rough.
How was yours? How was your time at the fair this weekend?
Oh, man, it was a blast. Like, it was a heat blast. There's too much heat.
Very hot.
It was
very hot when we were there.
Heat. It was go-away
Very
heat.
hot.
I wanted to go away. But it was a wild success. Lots of great people came out and bought my wife's stuff. So that was really neat. So that was cool. Shout out to the Placer County Fair and those people because they were really nice to us. So that was cool. This coming week, we got Dynamite's back on Wednesday. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I know some people have asked, hey, will you guys stop reviewing Dynamite? No, it's been on our Monday shows. If you guys have been interested in hearing our reviews
Thoughts
of
on
Dynamite, it's been on our Monday shows. We just haven't
Including
advertised
this Monday
much.
today. Yeah.
Because like they've sort of, I'm not going to say they have phoned it in. They have not. But they haven't been the most consequential, I think, because they understood, hey, we're saving the good. They're doing the WWE thing. They're saving the good shit for when they're back on Wednesdays.
I'll give AEW this at least. Yes, the episodes of Dynamite this month haven't been the most consequential, but I feel like they put the building blocks in place so that when they're on the road, beginning of July, when they start bringing out the good stuff, as you're talking about, it's going to be a little more impactful because they've been setting it up.
I do feel we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite on today's show, but I do feel like this week felt more because it was, full crowd and
Saturday night.
It was Saturday night. They seemed to really get a kick out of the throwback, Saturday night time slot. And there was a terrific title match. Like you said, a lot of stuff being set up for back on the road this week. Couple of huge matches, FTR and LAX.
Santana Ortiz.
Proud and Powerful. And Sammy Guevara and MJF. Those should be a couple of killer matches.
That's next week. Yeah.
All sorts of good stuff being set up. But and then we'll be back, of course, this coming Wednesday live on Twitch, recapping it right after the show. And then, of course, on VOD, YouTube, and
right after
in the
that,
audio world right after that. So yeah. And then this coming weekend, is this 2 weekends in a row that we don't have pay-per-views?
I know, and I don't think the weekend after that we have anything either.
What?
I don't think we have anything else till Slammiversary.
Hey,
the 16th.
We should think about getting together and maybe doing like a gaming thing or something.
All right.
That could be kind of fun. We had talked about that before. We could do a bunch of GTA races or something. I don't know. We could do
something.
Anyways,
we'll figure it out.
So yeah, there's all that, and then of course on the Patreon, it's June 28th, and so it's only 2 days.
2
left
days to the end of the month.
In the rest of the month. So if you want to get I still have to do last month's patrons, but I'm like that's like this week. I'm determined to do everything that needs to go out is going to go out this week. We've got, of course, patreon.com/Stephen Larson. It's a great way to support Going In Raw. If you're a fan of the show, at the $20 mark, not only do you get to ask a question on our Matt Chat show for whomever the guest happens to be. This month, of course, just yesterday we had the Louis Dangour episode where young Louis showed up and answered some questions with us. But of course, you also get the Friendo Care Package. Look at this. You get a full color comic book featuring Stephen Larson, a story ridiculous enough to be told by the likes of Stephen Larson.
But also too expensive to ever be made into a major motion picture. That's really the only format this story could ever exist in.
Look at that. You know how crazy this comic book is? It features, there's a giant frog with a diaper on, but it's also, like we're next to each other in some of these. Like we're actually in the same room in some of this stuff.
I know. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Look at that. We're in the same room on this. Look at that. It's like an old school set right there. I have to update some of the things. Like we're wearing super old shirts of ours. So anyways, yeah.
It's a little time capsule.
It is kind of a time capsule, yeah. So, and then of course there's also bonus content. We're going to start up a brand new, maybe in the next couple of weeks, a brand new show where we take the Going In Raw math formula to definitively rank wrestlers on a grade, on a numerical grade. And we're going to do that. We're going to source our Twitch crowd, our YouTube crowd, our Twitter crowd, and we're going to do this live, and it's going to be called The Numbers Don't Lie. And
Correct.
It's going to be Friendo Club TV exclusive. So $5 on the Patreon, a Twitch sub, or YouTube channel membership. Get in on the ground floor, patreon.com/Stephen Larson, $5, and you're going to get that. So that should be a lot of fun. It's going to replace our current Ask Stephen Larson show because that's sort of run its course.
Well, that's kind of what our Impact co-streams have turned into as well.
Pretty much. And our pre-shows here on Twitch. We talk about all sorts of stuff there.
Virtually, yeah.
Anyways, what are we going to talk about first today in the news before we cover our AEW Dynamite of the week?
We're going to talk about Samoa Joe. So he appeared on the most recent episode of Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast. He talked about his release, how his return to WWE came about, and what his future might hold with the company, both inside and outside the ring. This we had to say. Transcripts are from Fightful. At first, he says, it was weird. Johnny Laurinaitis called me. He was like, hey, we're going to have to release you from your contract. I was like, okay, cool. Joe, we think the world of you and would love to work with you again. Absolutely. I did have a bit of understanding at the time with injuries and coming back and getting ready to rehab. And we're in a pandemic. I get it. It wasn't unexpected, but at the same time, I was relatively calm about it. I've been in the situation before. Younger me probably would have been freaked out. But at this point, you just pivot. I was already in the work of setting up the next framework for what I wanted to do. A few hours later, I get a call from Hunter, and it all changed. I sent some company farewell text just saying, pleasure working with you, and some general thanks. I got a text back from Triple H who was like, give me a minute to get out of a meeting. We had a brief conversation, which was like, give us a little time. I'll work out. We'll be talking soon. It led to my turn back to NXT. He talks more about how they talked about his current role. He says, me and Triple H had spoken about this transition in depth. It wasn't just coming back to NXT and being an enforcer and having a role on the show. Now I'm working the talent scouting department, working with Canyon Seaman, doing more administrative things behind the scenes. It's a transition to some of the other aspects of the business. It's an evolution of my journey. It was a cool opportunity that Hunter offered me. It was a very nice understanding that we had come to. I always try to keep a pulse on the industry in general, whether it be through me looking or my network contacts and people I know outside of the indie wrestling world and the combat sports world and a lot of the athletic world, just heavy connections. It was a really nice fit. I'm looking forward to giving an opportunity to a lot of people that maybe wouldn't get a look. And of course, he was asked about whether he's still trying to get cleared to get back in the ring, to which he said, quote, absolutely. Well, just say yes and leave it at that.
That's awesome. That's cool. Joe, listen's the game. You want to come do some paperwork? We got some data entry jobs open for you at NXT.
Joe, you want to come watch a bunch of tape?
Come do some accounting. Do some accounts with us.
Well, he used to be a mortgage processor before.
Joe, didn't you used to process mortgages?
I think so.
Mortgage?
I think that was his day job before he was able to wrestle full time.
Got a new gimmick for you. Real estate guy extraordinaire. Real estate agent.
That's what you do. You refinance loans. You give people's career new life.
Yeah, that's great. It is very interesting to know that he's working behind the scenes. I mean, who better than Samoa Joe to do talent scouting? I mean, come on, give me a break. Hey, Joe, you want to invest in the future of NXT? It's great. You build up these new stars and they just go to waste on the main roster. Dad doesn't know what he's doing. He's old now, Joe. Think you can put Dad in the clutch? That's great, though. Also, Joe asked if he's looking to get cleared to come back. Absolutely. We'll just say yes and leave it at that. That's good. That's all I need to know.
Yep.
First match against Samoa Joe. It's got to be Pete Dunne, right? All that staring.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That can't go unresolved. All the staring.
Yeah. Well, you got that. You got Adam Cole. They still have beef. Samoa Joe, it seemed like he is just waiting for an opportunity to choke out Karrion Kross.
He better get to the main roster soon, because if he doesn't, he's going to cry. Joe is going to make him cry, which is like worse. Wow. That's worse than death. In front of that audience, he's going to cry. Imagine Kross crying. I can imagine.
Yeah, Joe is going to make Karrion Kross cry.
Oh,
at least
gosh.
Have cry face.
That's
Serious
terrifying.
cry face.
That's terrifying. Anyways, let's talk about John Cena. He's about to be everywhere. The new Fast Furious movie, Fast 9, I think it is. They go to space, Fast in Space.
It just came out, right?
I think so, yeah. Is it on HBO Max? Is that one of those shows? Or is it a different company that does that?
I don't know.
Because I know like HBO Max, they just show their shit on TV. You can just watch it.
Yeah. Is it a Warner Brothers movie? Because if it's a Warner Brothers movie, that may be.
No idea. Don't know. And then there's, of course, his role as Peacemaker, which I'm very much looking forward to. Anyways, new rumors are circulating that Roman Reigns is set to take on John Cena this year's SummerSlam, Larson. But during a recent interview with Complex News, Cena said that he doesn't think WWE needs him to succeed. These transcripts come to you via our friends at WrestleTalk. He says this: WWE is already a global phenomenon with or without John Cena, and that's proven before I got there, and certainly now that I'm not there anymore and they're still thriving. They don't need me, but it's such an honor and a privilege to walk in that locker room and be able to go out there and perform. So do you agree with that, Larson? Do you think WWE needs John Cena?
Do they need John Cena? I don't think they need him. Will they benefit greatly from having him around? Absolutely. He's still one of the few names they can bring on the show that can boost ratings.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people they can bring in if they want to help establish up-and-coming stars. Get in the program with Cena. You're a main eventer. No real debate about it. I just checked. Fast 9 is a universal picture. So if it were going to be on any streaming service, it would be Peacock. It is not.
Oh, yeah. They're Peacock. They don't have anything. They just have like WWE.
So a bunch of TV shows
and
and movies from like 10 years ago. Why they don't have Night Court yet, I don't know.
Up until a couple weeks ago, they only had like the last 3 seasons of SmackDown. Then they put all the SmackDown on there.
Oh, all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So does WWE need John Cena to keep going? No. But, you put him back on the roster, even on a part-time basis, he's still one of the top 3 stars I have in the entire company.
Mm-hmm.
Need him? No. Would he be a help to the company? Yes, absolutely. Without a doubt.
I'm looking forward to him versus Roman Reigns. I think it's going to be cool.
Be some great promos. Let's take a quick break here to get a word in from the sponsor of today's show, Sheath. So, Steve.
Yes.
So, if I'm correct, you're a boxer brief type guy, right?
Oh, what a good guess, Larson. I like to keep my business down under secure, but I also need some room to let my dude parts breathe.
All right. Well, let me tell you about these Sheath boxer briefs I got on. They're designed to keep your man bits off your legs. You see here? I got a pair here I can demonstrate. You see here?
Your actual underwear. Wow.
Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there cool and separate and comfortable. Think of it this way, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Sheath's got an inverted kangaroo pouch. I'm holding on to it right here.
I can see that, yeah.
For your Joey to keep you from sticking to your thigh.
You can't keep showing everybody your underwear, man. But I take your point. I don't like when things get sticky down there, unless, of course, that's what Steve is aiming for.
Okay, so Sheath's got a modern ergonomic design that's intended to prevent skin-on-skin contact for extended periods of time, which can cause heat and sweat. Let me ask you a question, Steve.
What?
When you get heat
and
you get sweat
and
you put them together, what do you get?
The heat will rock you. Well, that's gross, though. You got junk funk. That's what it is. It's junk funk. Nobody likes junk funk. Smelly junk funk.
Yeah, that's correct. But Sheath prevents all that because everything down here is separate. That means no smelly undercarriage, and that means you'll chafe and readjust way less.
So if you want to keep your front area cool and comfortable, go to sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off your order today. That's Sheath Underwear, SHEATH underwear.com/raw. Make sure you use promo code RAW at checkout.
Trust us, you'll be doing your junk a favor by going to sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off. Again, that's sheathunderwear.com/raw for 20% off.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. We can talk about Samoa Joe. We can talk about John Cena. The bottom line is there's one card that you and I look forward to more than any of them.
More than any
every
other show
single
the whole
year. It is my reason for being. And, of course, I'm talking about Triplemania. Larson, we're only 8 weeks out
roughly
from what is sure to be guaranteed the greatest wrestling show of the year, Triplemania.
It is every year. It is every year. Up to date. It's been the greatest show every year.
And today, the promotion held a press conference and announced several more matches for this year's event. And this is what we've got so far. And we want to thank Lucha Blog for coverage of this press event. Here we go. Once again, a Marvel Lucha Libre exhibition. We saw this. It was wildly successful last year.
Yeah.
Thanos was involved.
It was Brian Cage.
Spider-Man was involved.
Be a rush.
Captain America was involved.
That was
Daga? Was it Daga?
I think so.
And Venom was involved.
Oh, I think that was Black Taurus.
Black Taurus.
I think
Yeah.
it was Black Taurus.
So it says no names have been announced, but new names are going to debut. Larson,
Very
speculate.
exciting.
What new names from the Marvel Cinematic Universe will debut at
Kenny Omega as Green Goblin.
That's good. That's good. I want to see.
I know Kenny's got a match later on the card, but whatever.
Well, yeah, but he's not. It's not Green Goblin versus Andrade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, geez, it's got to be. You throw. Who's going to be Iron Man? Somebody's got to be Iron Man.
True. What about Jungle Boy is Kraven the Hunter?
Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. That's really good. That's very clever. Orange Cassidy as the Thing.
All right.
He's orange.
Yeah, no, I get it.
One guy he's orange, and then he's Orange Cassidy.
No, I get it.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like him though.
No.
What about
Like
Powerhouse
General-
Hobbs? Powerhouse Hobbs is the Thing. That'd be cool. That'd be neat. Like a luchador version of the Thing from. I know but the Thing isn't really in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, is he?
Not yet, no.
Powerhouse Hobbs as it'd be the Hulk. It'd be the Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be the Hulk.
Yeah. That'd be
Powerhouse Hulk.
We got, instead of Copa Triplemania this year, we got Copa Bardal.
Bardal, isn't that the oil? The
Yeah, I think it's auto
the
parts or
car
something
oil.
like that. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So announced for that.
The Bardal
Our-
cup.
Our Drago, Mr. Iguana, and Mamba announced so far. I believe it's going to be like a Royal Rumble type situation. So expect more participants there. We got a AAA tag team title bout. You got the Lucha Brothers, your champions, against Hijo del Vikingo and Laredo Kid versus Taurus, and a mystery partner. And according
I
to
hope it's
Lucha
Sammy
Blog,
Guevara.
according to Lucha Blog, Taurus's partner was hinted as someone that used to be in CMLL.
Was Sammy Guevara in CMLL back in the day?
I don't know. This is great. So this next match, you got Pagano and Chessman, who tried to basically kill each other last year in the main event, teaming up with Murder Clown to take on Puma King and two partners.
Yeah.
Deanna Perazzo versus Fabi Apache, with both the AAA and Impact Women's titles on the line.
That could steal the show right there.
Mm-hmm.
That could steal the show.
Definitely. Andrade challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship. And that's not even the main event. That's how spectacular Triplemania is every year. Main event is Psycho Clown versus Rey Escorpion in a mask versus hair match.
Yeah, well, the mascaras and the hair, those are much more important artifacts than the championship, El Campeón. So, yeah, mask versus hair, that's huge. Who do you have in the Lucha Brothers tag match? It stands to reason El Hijo del Vikingo and Laredo Kid have a good chance, right? Those are big names.
Yeah, they are. They are pretty huge names. They're on the rise. Vikingo is amazing. He does all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh my gosh. That guy
And
is
you know
a
what?
walking
I've been
gift.
thinking about it a bit, especially like over the weekend. Saturday night's match between Kenny and Jungle Boy was really good.
No,
you could tell that Kenny's hurting.
he's beat up.
So I know we got a match announced. This is just wild speculation on my part. I know we have a match announced for Moose at Slammiversary against Chris Sabin. I wonder if they find a way to get him into that main event and do a thing where Moose beats Sammy for the belt to get it off Kenny, to give him a bit of a break. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You think the pieces are going to start falling around Kenny Omega and then culminating with maybe the last thing? I kind of feel like that's how they should do it. Is he loses this is going to be the wait. When's the Slammiversary?
It's the 17th?
17th of July. So
Yeah.
Maybe those titles are the first to fall, and then you've got Triplemania. That title comes off him, and all he's left with is that AEW title.
Yeah.
And that last piece goes to Hangman Page,
Mm-hmm.
who's on a tear lately.
Because if they have Moose beat Sammy for it, like pin Sammy for it, then Kenny's not taking the pin, so he loses the belt. But it's like, well, I didn't get pinned. After Kenny loses the AEW title to Page, then they can, whatever the October pay-per-view is for Impact, then you can do Moose versus Kenny 1-on-1. Moose gets his clean win there. I mean, there's a way you can do it still.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. Because if you've got it all depends on how the story is going to play out. Like it kind of needs to be Kenny eating the pin before, Hangman Page finally puts the nail in the coffin, and takes that last title off him.
I agree. I'm just trying to, I don't know. Otherwise,
but it depends if they want to protect him or not. Because, otherwise, I don't know how this Andrade Kenny Omega thing goes down,
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of Kenny Omega, of course, another rousing episode of Dynamite. We talked about a little bit at the head of the show, but we'll go ahead and review that now before we answer some questions. Thought it was a fun show. Obviously they were setting up a lot of stuff. We had a couple matches announced for the big return to the Road Rager, for example. We've got Ethan Page versus Darby Allin in a coffin match July 7th at Road Rager. That should be a lot of fun. And then obviously next week as well.
The QT Marshall Cody Rhodes strap match is going to be on July 7th as well.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. And then this week is when we got FTR and LAX versus FTR versus Proud and Powerful.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's MJF and Sammy Guevara on Wednesday, and I believe Britt and Rebel versus Vicky and Nyla Rose is this Wednesday as well.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Anyways, AEW opened up with Sammy Guevara. He's about to do an interview, then he's attacked by the chairman. Sean Spears says this attack is compliments of MJF. Good luck next week, Sammy. Sean Spears probably should have done a little bit more than just one chair shot if he really wanted to try to take Sammy out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's not going to do it. No. First match was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Hangman Page. Hangman Page got the win with the buckshot, but of course we had shenanigans galore.
It was Deadeye, not buckshot.
Sorry. Buckshot.
Yeah. Because Hobbs kept working his arm over.
Yeah. All sorts of shenanigans. I looked at your notes here. You're just all caps, madman, manifesto notes here. I saw buckshot. It's Deadeye. Yeah, Ricky comes out. What's that?
To blame me for it.
Well, no, I didn't blame you for it. I just said your notes are crazy. Ricky Starks comes out with the title. I wasn't blaming you. I just said this looks like the ramblings of a madman. That's all. Didn't blame you for anything. I think you're crazy. Ricky apparently took the title from the bag of Brian Cage, I guess.
Yeah.
And tried to give it to Hobbs. But of course, Brian Cage comes out. He's all pissed off. I love this stuff. I love how this plays out. It doesn't really even play out backstage. You just see all this unfold during matches. It's hilarious. So anyways, Page ends up getting the win, not with buckshot lariat.
Yeah, it was a really good match, though. They're doing a good job of. I know Will Hobbs is losing these matches against high profile opponents, but he looks great in every one of them.
Yeah.
We had Kenny Omega, Jungle Boy video package after that, and then we get a Young Bucks Brandon Cutler promo. A lot of this is Matt Jackson complaining, and then Nick Jackson tossing again some great asides, and then he starts calling like a bird.
Nick Jackson is so damn good. From the Just for Men he puts in his beard.
Oh, I know.
His where have these promos been this whole time? Because he is loud, articulate, hilarious, and it looks effortless. Nick Jackson is my new favorite wrestler because he's great.
He is great.
He is great in all this stuff. Yeah, it's fantastic. Nick Jackson.
Why do you start going?
So oh,
that's what confused me.
It doesn't matter. I loved it. It was so awesome. He's crazy. Why are you doing that? Why? What? He's crazy. It's awesome. It was so great. I like how Zoom hates when we do that because your mic drops out when you do that. It's hilarious.
So anyways, they were just calling out Eddie Kingston and Penta because they got a match against them coming up.
I don't know who had honestly, there were 3 promos in this show that were all amazing. And I don't know who had the best one, although I'm sort of leaning towards Conan. But Miro had killer promo.
From a purely character perspective, Miro wins by a landslide in my mind.
Miro's terrifying because he's bringing God into this stuff. He's bringing religious stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's in prayer position. This happens later. He's in prayer position. He's got his crucifix gold chain. And yet, like you said, because we were texting about this, and you're like, he mixes the profane with the sacred.
Yeah, because the same breath.
In the same breath.
It is so good.
Thank you, God.
Thank you. I want to thank God for making me powerful.
Flexible.
Oh, it was so good. It's so good. Or jumping ahead of herself.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got this Tully Blanchard Conan face to face, and you have to appreciate Tony Khan for giving a live microphone to Conan on TNT on a Saturday night. It's genius. So, this is supposed to be a gentleman's face to face or something like that. And Tully says, last time I saw Conan was at Stampede?
Stadium Stampede.
That's right, in the bar, yeah. He says, but you're a legend. You know, you're trying to get involved in something that wasn't your business. But because you're a legend, I'm going to let you go first. So K-Dog says, you know, the mind games, I'm going to see if I can make heads or tails of this because I'm not even sure. I didn't write any notes of this. So appreciations to your notes, by the way. So I'm going to try to make heads and tails because it's Conan being filtered through your notes. Yeah. He says the mind games start already. He says I won't be intimidated. LAX won't be intimidated. Proud and Powerful won't be intimidated. He says FTR said they had the same upbringing as Proud and Powerful, but growing up in North Carolina, he says, what did he say? Where the men are tough and the sheep are scared.
Yeah.
He says, isn't the same as trying to survive the streets of New York City. He says, you know, tipping bulls ain't the same thing, or tipping cows rather, isn't the same thing as trying to dodge gangs and being profiled by the cops. I mean, he was getting into some deep shit here. It was great.
He was.
He says, I'm more than a mentor to Santana Ortiz. I'm their father figure. When Santana talked about his dad passing away, you know, he reached out to me. So he's basically saying, I'm familia to them, and you're just a mentor to your guys.
And this is when he made the bit about, he told you should learn Spanish so you can communicate with your grandchildren.
Which is, God damn it, the best line. That's the promo line of the year, by the way. Because, he starts speaking Spanish. He's like, by the way, you need to start learning Spanish so you communicate with your grandkids one day. Oh, my God. I popped so hard when I heard that. That was so great.
And then Tully says, well, I know a thing or two about Spanish, and I know a thing or two about you, Conan, but you don't know who you're dealing with. He says, I could just bring my guys out, and you'll be laying here flat. You could have made this huge entrance into AEW, and that's it. He could bring FTR out and just end this right now.
Yeah, so Conan tells him that Walmart's still hiring. He says, when all is said and done, just know that Walmart's still hiring greeters. And remember that Proud and Powerful, like scarecrows, outstanding in their field, which is another great line.
It's really good.
He says, you know what? And I knew you'd probably be up to something, Tully. So I got my boys here. Come on out. And FTR cannot help. They can't help but just walk the way they walk, which is that weird swagger walk they do, because they're covered head to toe. And you're supposed to think that it's LAX, but it's like from the second you see them take two steps, you're like, oh, well, it's
say
FTR. Yeah. Exactly. It's just FTR. So anyways, Tully says, yeah, well, I'm always two steps ahead of you. Look up at the Tron. So they do. And Santana Ortiz are laid out. And they're like, oh, my God, well, who's that then? And then, of course, it's FTR. Say, yeah. And then they give Conan a pile driver.
Yeah, they're finished.
And it was pretty brutal. Shout out to K-Dog for taking that at whatever age he's at.
He's got a bad back or neck or something, too. Isn't that why he had to retire?
It looks like he's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. After that, we had a really fun match between Dante Martin and Matt Sydal. Before Matt Sydal can make his entrance, though, Vicky Guerrero interrupts, introduces Andrade. He walks to the stage. Vicky says they have an announcement to make, but right as she's about to make said announcement, Matt Sydal interrupts. So we're going to get probably Matt Sydal versus Andrade the coming weeks because Andrade wanted to kick his ass right then and there. Mm-hmm. Vicky holds him back. A really fun match featuring Dante Martin doing maybe the greatest sunset flip I've ever seen.
I've never seen somebody get that kind of air and be able to pivot And there's all sorts of beautiful pictures of it too, because the sun was like the golden hour.
Sunsetting, yeah.
It was beautiful. Yeah, it was
pretty great.
It was beautiful.
It was pretty great. And so he gets a 2 with that. He gets a flipping stunner, which was outstanding as well. He gets another 2 count. However, early in the match, Seidel is working over his leg. He leaps off the top, misses Seidel, lands on his feet and sells his knee, and then Seidel hits a lightning spiral to get the win. Fun match, though. After that, we had Jungle Boy promo. He says tonight feels like the biggest night of his career. Christian walks in, asks how he's feeling. He goes, I'm happy. I'm nervous. But you're worried about Matt Hardy. And Christian goes, I'm not worried about Matt Hardy. Tonight's your night. And you shouldn't just be happy to be in the spot. You should be pissed off because a lot of people don't think you belong here, that you should be in this match. And that includes Kenny Omega. He says, hey, you shocked the world when you won that Battle Royal. Shock him again by winning the title.
Yep.
So this is veteran leadership here from Christian Cage. He's been in this position before.
None of his business. Why is he walking up trying to pep talk Jungle Boy?
Because they've tagged before. They're friends.
Well, like one time.
Did you see Christian raise Jungle Boy's hand when he won the Battle Royal, eliminated him?
I see Christian.
Veteran leadership.
Doing exactly what he accused Taz of doing, trying to glom on to the young talent, to the up-and-comers to try to stay relevant. No, I'd see through that.
Okay.
I see through that.
It can be both things.
It can be both things. After that, we had the smart Mark Sterling and Jade Cargill in their promo. Jade Cargill, she's a superstar. So they came to an agreement with AEWshop.com. You get 10% off shirts with the code THATB.
Her shirts.
Sorry. I might get one too. THATB. They've already sold a ton. If they buy, let's see. If you buy one of Jade's shirts, you can be a star too. And at one point, he tries to rip a Dark Order shirt, and she's like, "Give me that." And then that's how she punctuates her part of the promo. On that B.
Rips it. After that, we had a Pinnacle interview, and MJF's like, I can see why people are upset that I attacked Jericho or that Sean Spears laid out Sammy Guevara, but I can't understand why people are upset about what I did to Dean Malenko last week. He says Dean is old. He has a bad heart and has Parkinson's. He says, should someone in that state have a part in a dangerous industry like pro wrestling? MJF says, I did Dean a favor, gave him an early retirement. You should be welcome, Dean. And then Jericho and Hager attack. We had this brawl between Pinnacle and Inner Circle. Starts backstage, spills out to the ring. Spears about to hit Jericho's arm with a chair. Sammy, he only took one chair shot, so of course he's going to come back. He even had time to change. He comes out and makes the save. He clears the ring, grabs a mic, tells MJF on Wednesday he's going to show what everyone knows, that they chose the wrong guy to put on all the posters. MJF, you love to say, I'm better than you and you know it. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you why I'm the best ever, and MJF knows it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, MJF's totally winning.
He's totally winning. He's
probably going to have to cheat to get the W, but he's totally winning.
So I know how much you love Miro. I know how much you love this promo. Would you like to take the honors here?
So he says, I want to thank God for making me powerful and my hot wife flexible. And he says, I promise to use his backing. God's backing gets people who deserve it. People like Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman Jr. may be ranked number one in the tag division, but he's about to find out that standing between a righteous man, his path is like standing between a cleaver and its meat.
Oh, it's so good.
It says Pillman Jr. didn't respect his champ, and he's going to find out why. Miro is God's favorite champion. He says, go on and say you're not afraid, Pillman Jr. The bravest thing you ever did was thinking about attacking him. The stupidest thing was actually doing it. It's so good. Miro really is so good.
Yeah. This was really this character that he's found this character, and he's just that guy that you do not want to mess with because you're bringing a righteous cause into it. That's terrifying. That's great. It is. It's great stuff.
It's really so good. It's riveting. Like you can't take your eyes off him.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I love it.
And then he brings that same energy into the ring with him.
Yeah. It's pretty terrifying. Speaking of terrifying, have you ever seen a nut shot like this? Ethan Page coming from behind and like literally just ramming his entire arm into Bear Bronson's poor taint balls and dick. That was horrifying. Good Lord, man. Ease up like a little bit.
So it was like the front of his fist hit the front area.
Gee whiz. This guy might want kids, dude.
Yeah.
He might want to smash later.
Well, it's going to be a little while. He has to ice that front area down before that's going to happen.
No kidding. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was a rough spot, rough shot. The whole story about this is that Ethan Page kept on looking for Ego's edge, and Bear Bronson would escape it until the aforementioned nut shot after Scorpio Sky distracted the ref. So Ethan Page hits the low blow, Ego's edge to get the W, and afterwards he challenges Darby Allin to a coffin match July 7th.
Bad move, Ego.
Yeah, it's a way for Page to take a loss without eating a pin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just gets shut into a coffin.
Yep.
After that, we had a Britt Baker promo. Take this one, too, because I kind of don't remember much about this.
Okay, so she says, Britt says, things I would ask for: a new car, a new yacht, a new football team. But Vicky, instead, she had a favor that she called in from Tony Khan. Instead, she asked for a wrestling match. And she goes on, talks about how she has great malpractice insurance, but she couldn't find any to cover what she's going to do to Vicky. And she says this game has no place for, as Britt put it, old chicks who think they belong in the wrestling ring. Says she doesn't care who Vicky is, and her excuse in advance for excuse her in advance for beating her up, but she'll send her home with a nice prescription courtesy of Britt Baker, DMD.
And then we had a Vicky Nyla Rose promo.
A response, yes.
A response, yeah, where she mentions that the tag match is a precursor to a title shot at Fyter Fest Night 2. They're coming for that title, so be ready. Nyla says next week she's locked in there with the Beast, but be ready for the claws of the Cougar.
And then we get the Bunny versus Chris Statlander. Pretty much after Statlander hits a power slam on the floor, it was basically all Statlander at that point.
Yeah.
At one point, the Blade gets on the apron. He tosses some brass knuckles into the ring. And Bunny picks him up while the ref's distracted with Blade. Orange Cassidy gets in there, takes the knuckles from the Bunny, puts them in his pocket, and then Chris hits Bing Bang Theory on the Bunny for the win. Afterwards, the Blade goes after Cassidy, digs in his pocket, pulls out the brass knuckles, hits him with it. TH2 is out there as well, so it looks like we're going to get Orange Cassidy versus the Blade probably the next 2 weeks.
Yep. After that, we had a QT Marshall interview. He said, yeah, he's touched that Brock Anderson got a win Father's Day weekend, and Brock won Wrestler of the Week, Larson. That's what Cody Island gets, to advance their stories. Hey, you guys get the Wrestler of the Week category. He said, that's great. He says, I beat Cody a couple weeks ago. Where's my Wrestler of the Week award? He says, then again, my dad's not the enforcer. He says, Cody's not there today, putting in the work like he is. He's off doing auditions, hoping he gets cast in one of those superhero films so he doesn't have to see him again, because then he'll be able to achieve his dream of becoming a champion in AEW. But nobody told QT Marshall that there are no championships on Cody Island. They are bereft of championships.
Yep, bereft.
On Cody Island. So he's going to have to find a raft off of Cody Island if he wants to compete
on Cody Island, you just fight for your survival.
Pretty much, yeah.
And after that, we had a Pillman promo. He talks about Miro, says it seems you have a Messiah complex, but you're not there to save anyone. Just pick fights with people so you can boost your own ego. Pillman says, I got a complex too. It's called growing up on the wrong side of the tracks. It's called fighting for everything you've ever had. Miro, you just picked a fight with me, and on Wednesday, I'm going to check your ego and defeat him for that TNT title.
Another thing I don't think is going to happen.
No. After that, we got Eddie Kingston Penta promo. Eddie says the Young Bucks are going to talk about taking people out, but they're not built like that. They take them out in the world of pro wrestling, not in real life. Something Eddie says that he has done. So he said they're going to challenge them in taking someone out. Says the Young Bucks only care about their egos, and the tag titles feed their egos. The only way to hurt the Young Bucks is to take the tag titles off them. The first thing they got to do before they can do that is take them out. And then Penta says the Young Bucks talk a lot about people they run over. Next week, they're the ones getting run over.
Penta says. And then we had our main event, Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega. Another stellar match. Kenny Omega, maybe it's not just us projecting, right? Kenny really does seem like he is banged up in these matches.
He does. He doesn't seem as explosive.
He's not. No, that's the main thing that sticks out. He just doesn't seem. There's that. Remember the very first time I saw him wrestle was that Okada match.
Uh-huh.
And my God, I was shocked at just how explosive and crisp it's no different. I've mentioned this before. It was no different than when I first saw RVD, and I was like, oh man, that's new to me in wrestling, and that's not there for him. I want him to take like a good solid year off, just go get some massages.
Heal up.
Or something.
I know.
Yeah, really.
I know.
But I mean,
he's still capable of putting on really good matches.
They're great.
He's still a great storyteller.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. His body might fail him at moments. His mind's not going to.
Maybe just don't take the poison Rana, because I don't know how people can do that. It was horrifying. Ugh.
Yeah, they usually
forgot
look
to
rough,
mention
but
also, by the way, earlier Hangman Page
got busted open.
Got sent right into the corner of that ring post, and then I just started staring at those ring posts like we're trying to be like, I think WWE's are cylindrical, right?
Well, they got the LEDs around them.
On the outside. So even when they post themselves, they do that on the Ooh.
And those are I don't know how thick they are. They're thinner than steel ring posts, and they're probably some plastic or
but they're also like
materials.
Rounded. They're not like an edge.
Yeah.
But
when you smack it, you just hear. Oh, I got some like if I smack my monitor, you hear the same sound.
Yeah,
as opposed to dong.
But this match was it was a great match.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Of course. What is this? How'd the finish go down here?
Well, early on, let's beginning, like Marco just gets irritated for some reason. He gets
everybody gets sent out. That's right. Yeah.
Gets barking at the Good Brothers, and then Marco and Luchasaurus get kicked out, and then the ref kicks out the Good Brothers. Don Callis goes to commentary. So for the vast majority, it's a one-on-one match. At one point, Good Brothers do come out, try to interfere. Kazarian and Jurassic Express fight him off backstage. Finish this. Where is it? So while that's all happening, Jungle Boy has Kenny and the snare trap. Kenny gets the bottom ropes. Jungle Boy pulls Kenny back in the middle of the ring to try to get him back in the middle of the ring. Instead, Kenny boots him off. They're trading some shots. Kenny hits a V-trigger. Jungle Boy responds with the clothesline. Kenny then responds with a brainbuster that gets him a 2 count. Kenny hits a V-trigger, goes for the one-winged angel. Jungle Boy counters that with a roll-up. Kenny kicks out. Again, right to the snare trap for Jungle Boy. Kenny starts to fade and starts pulling on Jungle Boy's hair, maybe stuck a finger in his eye to break the hold. So then Jungle Boy puts Kenny in the top rope. He's looking for Rana. Instead, Kenny kind of drops him across the top face first, hits a V-trigger in the corner, a J-driller, gets him a 2, and then he hits a one-winged angel for the win.
Yeah.
And then Kenny picks up the belt. He's about to clock Jungle Boy with it. Christian runs in to make the save.
Boo.
Hardy Family Office hits the ring 2. Matt Hardy lays out Christian. He's looking for a twist of fate. Christian reverses that almost into a kill switch, but the Young Bucks run out, super kick Christian, and then Hardy hits Christian with the twist of fate.
Yeah.
So we'll get that match at some point during the month of July when they're doing all the special theme shows,
so,
I would guess.
Yeah. Fighter Fest or something. There you go. Raw is on tonight. We'll be doing our recap live tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. We got a pretty beefy preview by Raw standards. We've got Rhea Ripley, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose go to war with Charlotte Flair, Natalya, and Tamina.
Kofi Kingston to confront MVP over Bobby Lashley's brutal attack on Xavier Woods. Oh, I have this Rhea Ripley thing in here twice. Sorry.
Jackson Riker is going to take on Elias in a strap match. I'll be honest. After that little bit with Riker and Mansoor last week.
Oh yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this match, but I'm also not looking forward to this match.
It'd be interesting to see if they continue with the theme they got going last week with Riker, as far as like hitting himself with the strap.
I know, right? Kind of a weirdo. I like it.
And then Drew McIntyre, Randall Keith Orton, and AJ Styles battle in a last chance Money in the Bank qualifying match. I'm still putting my money on Randall Keith Orton to win that.
I think you're probably onto something there. Jonathan here in chat also says, also don't forget Vince McMahon is going to address his future as CEO. No, that was a fake account that said that. That was a new rumor. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions. We have a thread right here on the Twitter at twitter.com/ real going in Raw is the Twitter thing. That's where we have our question thread every Monday for news beef.
Jason Lewis has an interesting question. This month is the 20th anniversary of the Austin 316 promo and the 10th anniversary of Punk's pipe bomb.
Yeah.
The former had a slow build leading to white-hot enthusiasm, while the latter had an immediate effect to bring back lapsed fans. Which does WWE need more right now?
I think I think we kind of have like the Austin 316 right now with Roman Reigns showing up with Paul Heyman. That was sort of a big moment. It might not be as iconic a statement as Austin's thing. But yeah, I feel like, there's been a period of lethargy, if you will. And I feel like something that kind of makes I gasped when he said this company's going to be better off when Vince is dead. Like, I think we need kind of a shock to the system. That is
Cole to say something like
that is
crazy.
Yeah, there you go. That shock that is followed up on the way we had that Money in the Bank match with Punk and Cena. Mm-hmm. As long as it's followed up on, something that really does it, Yeah.
I mean, as far as what does WWE need more, they need something. They need a shot in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have the ingredients in place in a couple storylines to take the slow build approach like they did with Austin.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, they need a shot in the arm. They need another pipe bomb at this juncture. Anthony Tobias with the new Space Jam coming out next month. Should the next one be with wrestlers?
Mm-hmm.
Who is the main star and who do the Nerdlucks steal their talent from? I'm not that familiar with the Space Jam universe.
That was the Monstars.
I'm just reading what the question says here. So
it'd be the QT Marshall and his group. It'd be the Factory.
No, okay, for the latter. So who's the main star? Oh, Cody.
It's Cody, of course. Cody Island. Yeah, it's all in Cody Island.
Yeah. Hugh Longheavy, if AEW signs Braun, should be managed by the genius Lanny Poffo. Hugh Longheavy here says to balance out the dullardness. That was just a character thing, though, on Raw, I think. Or Sid, because Braun's dad was a softball pro.
Should always
My
be
heart.
Sid. Should be Sid.
It says Sid.
It should be Sid.
Should be Sid.
Yeah,
and he should throw these out to the crowd every week.
He just starts, but he chucks them underhand, super hard.
Yeah,
beaming little kids with a softball. Wolverine asks, "What wrestlers do you think Triple H is going to sneak into a contract with on NXT without Vince knowing it?" I guarantee he tried Aleister Black. He tried that shit. No, thank you. I appreciate your concern, but I want to go be with my wife in AEW. Your wife's not in AEW. She will be. Decided to try out a new gimmick, Ice Cream Man.
He comes rolling down the ring in one of those the bicycles with a little freezer on the front.
Yeah, right. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention this. It's at the head of the show. How do we not mention this? We laid out the challenge. We threw down the proverbial gauntlet to formerly known as Everrise to challenge for our Quizzlemania Tag Team Championships. And formerly known as Matt Martell on Twitter said, "I'm down. We're down." So now it's in the hands of, I'm assuming, Adam Blompiet, although Louis Dangour seemed to think that he had some sort of say in the matter as well.
It's the powers that be.
The powers that be at Parts Fun Known. But apparently, this match might actually happen. I say let's try to hit up the Bollywood boys, too. Let's line up the tag teams.
Let's do it.
One by one.
That'd be fun.
Dispatch of
them. Tom Talks Rubbish said, I was watching a show called Burn Notice, and The Big Show, a.k.a. Paul White, appeared as a gangster. My question is, what is the strangest or unexpected TV show you have ever seen have a wrestler show up? Love all you do, guys. Wasn't Terry Funk in an episode of Quantum Leap?
He was, yeah. That's totally the answer, too. There was it was a great episode where they sort of blurred the line really oddly between, the kayfabe and real, whatever. Yeah, it was Quantum Leap. He leapt into a wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Carrie Harrell. Hey, friendos, just a thought, but if Roman is basically Thanos and no one person can beat him, how cool would it be if Dark Avengers would defeat him to turn him babyface? Who would that group of wrestlers be, or would he smash and stack them too?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter who it is.
All right,
The
there we
Dark
go.
Avengers. I've heard the phrase before. Let me look them up really quick. Take a guess really quick. Who do you think is in the Dark Avengers?
I'm at a complete loss. I'll be honest with you.
Why does this guy look like who is this? Let's find out. Wow, a lot of people here. U.S. agent. Oh, it's that group. Okay. Norman Osborn? Isn't he the Green Goblin?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it looks like he's got like some sort of red, white, and blue Iron Man suit on of some sort.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is very confusing.
It is confusing. Dalen Dula says, in the year 2982, on your home planet of Mars, you decide to take your cyborg body and your brain, which it carries, out for a stroll. While walking, you notice that other people have nicer spacecrafts than you. What now cyborg wrestler do you ask to help you upgrade your ship? Who knows a thing or two about engineering?
Well, the architect.
Good.
It's very loose because engineering really is not the same thing as architecture.
But, you got to trust his vision.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The Wild Dude says, to continue my prog rock gimmick from the NXT UK live streams, what are each of your favorite band or artists that is commonly attributed to prog rock, or that you think at least is prog rock? Steve, you're the prog rock aficionado here. What is your answer?
I am the eye in the sky.
Oh, Alan Parsons Project is good.
Ooh, I can
That's good.
see something. Yeah.
I could read your mind.
I can read your mind.
You love yourself some Alan Parsons
I am the
Project.
maker of rules, dealing with fools. It's a shot
good
at
song.
you.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. What about you, man? Come on, throw some prog rock at us.
I like some of King Crimson stuff. I'll say them. For like classic prog rock. They're probably, I don't listen to a ton of it, but that's probably they're probably number one contender.
Let me look at other bands really quick.
All right.
Very briefly.
Like
briefly.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I don't really listen to that stuff so much.
Yeah.
Like I know of them, but I don't really listen to a lot of that stuff. Greg Morris, who right now is a Going in Raw Wrestler of the Year, a.k.a. the Baron Corbin Award.
Wow. Man, I feel like, it's not even close. It's Confused Cowboy.
Well, I think Sam Gradwell's giving him a run for his money.
Oh, I love Sam Gradwell. Yeah, that's a good one, too. But okay, here's the thing. Confused Cowboy is very popular. Like, our Impact streams are very popular. And Confused Cowboy is the centerpiece of those streams.
Without a doubt. I'm not saying Confused Cowboy probably isn't the shoe-in to get the win. I don't think he's going to run away with it per se, because I think Sam Gradwell's given him a decent run for his money. Not enough to overtake him, but a decent run.
Interesting. All right. I like it. Got ourselves a match.
Nick, with 2021 halfway over, that's crazy to think. Yeah. Who's your early pick for both NXT breakout star and future star of NXT?
2021 breakout star. God, I have to look back at what was the first NXT event of the year? What happened? What preceded the Rumble? NXT Takeover January 2021. Let's see here. Oh, what was the Valentine's one? We'll just do February because I just want to see what was going.
Valentine's Day Massacre, whatever it's called.
Vengeance Day.
Oh, Vengeance Day, that's right.
NXT Takeover. I just want to see who was on that card to give me some.
I'm gonna say breakout star is gonna be Hit Row.
Ooh.
And then future star is gonna be Top Dollar.
That's good. Let's see here. I'd say breakout star might actually be. It'd be a group. It'd be Tien Sha.
Okay.
And then future star would be. I really liked what I saw from Leon Ruff, but we haven't seen a whole lot from Leon Ruff lately. Like that little spell where he was taking it to Swerve, I thought was pretty cool. I'd like to see maybe we get a Swerve where like Leon Ruff joins.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Hit Row. That'd be cool.
NJWP, what are your main worries about the upcoming WWE draft?
That it's not going to change. That it's going to be another case of dropped ball. There's a lot of great, interesting opportunities when you shake up the roster, and I just get the feeling that it's going to be a massive dropped ball once again.
Yeah. Rich, favorite all-time cartoon characters and why?
Mine was probably Soundwave from the Transformers because he was cool as shit. Soundwave. And then he had the coolest toy too.
Yeah, the toy was pretty cool.
It was like the tapes would eject and turn into shit. That was awesome.
That was pretty neat. Even though my brother had the Autobot version,
I did too. I had both of them. The Autobot version was so like goofy. It was like Hogan colors, just like red and yellow. Soundwave.
I was gonna say Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, what a great answer. No, that's awesome.
Not childhood cartoon. That was more high school, but I used to watch that all the time.
Okay, well, my runner-up then would be Powder Toast Man.
Oh, yeah.
Powder Toast Man was great. He would fart a lot of things. He would like fly backwards and his butt cheeks would be all out.
Yeah. Blake Elizondo, if John Cena was to return, is it actually worth his time to just put Roman over? Would it be more fun for him to come in as Hollywood Cena with a suit and all and just be overly nice and condescending to everyone?
I would love if they did something different with him. I would love Hollywood Cena.
Have him come in as Peacemaker. It'd be so much fun. Sitting there eating what empanadas? I think James Gunn said he had to eat 40 empanadas for one scene or something like that.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Empanadas are delicious.
Starfish is a euphemism for butthole. Are they related? No. No.
Got one more here from the Tall Pine. Brock Lesnar has only held world titles at WWE. Who would you choose for him to win a tag team title with? Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Shelton Benjamin.
Should totally be Shelton Benjamin.
Reference their past and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. I like to see people have fun with each other and interact that have history. You know?
I know.
That's one thing AEW does really well. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some more of your questions. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.